So this week's Superhero Showdown is the MCU Winter Soldier versus the CW network, so the Arrow versus Deathstroke.
Now I have a question. Are we doing Winter Soldier before he's gone through Wakanda
We are saying he is still the Winter Soldier, so when he was still doing hits for Hydra.
Yep. Okay. I don't know who wants to go first.
So there are a lot of similarities between these characters.
Yep.
I'm going to just preface this. The Winter Soldier is not Marvel's rip-off of Deathstroke. Marvel's rip-off of Deathstroke is a little-known character called Deadpool. Wade Wilson, Slade Wilson put it together. They were literally taking the mick out of the character. Winter Soldier is similar, but at the end of the day, when you're writing comic books, you're going to get similarities.
Oh, yeah.
So Slade Wilson is an Australian mercenary who enlisted against the law when he was 16, and then became part of some kind of medical trial, and then became disillusioned with the army, became a mercenary. Faster, stronger, smarter, more talented with weapons. He is an animal.
Yes.
Then you have the Winter Soldier, who obviously worked with Captain America in the Second World War as part of the Howling Commandos, as James Buchanan Barnes. He then fell to his death, quote unquote, where Hydra then grabbed him, threw a metal arm on him, brainwashed him, and turned him into their personal hitman that they rolled out of cryostasis whenever they needed to kill someone, such as JFK or the Starks.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If we were talking comic books, I'm going Deathstroke instantly.
Oh.
Because he's just fucking OP. However, I would feel pretty confident that you'd agree with me in saying that MCU Winter Soldier bitch slaps Arrow versus Oliver Queen.
Yes. Whether bitch slap is the word I'd use, but...
No, I think he kind of bitch slaps him. But that's neither here nor there, because like I said, I haven't watched the end of Arrow, so maybe Oliver gets more OP as time goes on. And I think the level that Slade was operating at in the CW is so much lower than his comic book counterpart. I think I have to give it to Deathstroke because of the what they've had to deal with. The Winter Soldier has been a deadly assassin for 70 years. People weren't even sure he existed. And you've got Deathstroke, who was kind of nerfed for the TV show.
So I have my... Okay, so my thought process with this was they're both highly skilled with guns and kind of hand-to-hand stuffing. And I agree, the Deathstroke in CW is not nearly as strong as the comic book one. But I think that was just down to when they introduced him and how early on into Oliver Queen or whatever. I would say that this fight might not necessarily be Winter Soldier bitch slapping, like just destroying Deathstroke.
I don't think it's that cut and dry either, because Deathstroke is still very smart.
I think what happens is it's just a distance. It's very even of a fight because they're both highly skilled with their weapons. And if they try and do anything at distance, they're just going to be pretty equally matched. I think what tips it in Winter Soldier's favour is as soon as he gets into like close combat range, mainly that metal arm is just going to block and break any gun or weapon that Deathstroke has. to the point where it's like you have Deathstroke with no weapons, just pure hand to hand, and then you've got a guy with a metal arm who is brainwashed to be relentless till he gets to his goal.
And also a super soldier serum.
Also that. But doesn't Deathstroke have a certain part of healing factor, if I remember correctly?
A very little one. It's not
CW.
ridiculous. I don't know if his CW counterpart did. I think his CW counterpart was just like faster, stronger, but also crazier.
So I think it just comes down to the fact that Winter Soldier is so, because of the brainwashing, he is relentless to the point till he gets his job done, that like even if he gets injured or whatever, he's just going to keep pushing through it, and he's just going to overpower and eventually beat Deathstroke. That's how I saw it.
Also, what I'll say about the CW Deathstroke is, bearing in mind Deathstroke's always been a mercenary, CW's Deathstroke was the least professional I've ever seen, in the sense of he was a bit more emotional.
Yeah.
And I think the Winter Soldier would find a way to abuse that. I think it is a brilliant fight. I think whatever city it takes place in is in shambles afterwards, because these guys are so well matched for each other. But I think, like you said, Winter Soldier's relentlessness is too much for anyone.
Yeah, and I think it's just like there's only so much where like they can try and use their different weapons or whatever, and like Deathstroke can back away, try and use it like guns or whatever, but there's just gonna come a point where he's gonna have to face him hand to hand, and that point is where Winter Soldier's just gonna, like, he's got a metal arm, super serum, like he's just gonna make CW Deathstroke especially just fold, just crumple him.
Exactly.
I think that unfortunately for the CW Deathstroke, he was in a character that was introduced so early in the CW show.
They had to nerf him a little bit, yeah.
So, yeah, I think MCU Winter Soldier wins this by not super easily, but like
I'm going to give him a 75-25.
Yeah, I'd say like Winter Soldier's getting hurt, but at the end of the day, like that won't stop him.
Yeah, exactly.